Hi everyone, I just wanted to stop on by and show you guys how I am making dashboards for my pocket planner. As many of you guys know, I like to make my stuff myself just because it's completely customizable and it's something new and it's something different. So let's get started. The first things that you're going to want to gather is going to be either a 3 mil, and I'm trying to keep the glare down, so that's why this is on top. Either a 3 mil or a 5 mil laminate sheet. I am going to use the 3 mil today just because I feel like that gives it a little bit more flexibility instead of the standard 5 mil. So we will set that to the side. The other thing that you're going to need is either a paper trimmer or a straight edge, and you will need an X-Acto knife and a straight edge. Those are definitely the two things that you're going to have to utilize for this project. And then also, the paper trimmer is not necessary, but you can find these at Hobby Lobby. I was able to get this one, I believe, with the 40% off coupon, so that definitely helped. The other thing that we need to make our dashboards is going to be these sheet protectors by Avery. I got this at Walmart. It's a top feed and the number is 75007 is what I am utilizing for today. And this is going to be basically the liner of our dashboards, just so that you guys understand why we're purchasing this. Okay, so I'm going to move most of the reflective material away because we need to be able to get a nice clean shot of this, and I know it's still going to be reflective. So with your sheet, what we are wanting to do is we are wanting to cut off the heat seal that happens to be around these two edges. Now, the reason why we're doing this is because you're going to want a nice clean look for your dashboards, and having those heat seals on there is not going to provide you with that aesthetic. So we are simply just going to cut those off. All right, so on to the next part, and I'm going to actually set this over here because we're going to need it in here in a little while. I have my 3 mil laminate sheet. Please don't mind the lighting. I broke one of my lights, and so now I'm dealing with this. So what we're going to do is we are going to put this to the top and in the center, and although it seems like you could fit two on here, I don't recommend that you do that just because you want to have an edge that's far enough away that it's not going to start to separate. Okay, and then also, like you guys know I love to do is the corner rounds. I just feel like it gives it a better look. It gives it a nice clean presentation. And this punch, oh, if I can get that in there correctly. This punch can be found at Hobby Lobby. You can get a little rough here with it. This can be found at Hobby Lobby, and I'm not for sure what the pricing on it is, but you definitely can find that for a little, I think it's a little over $10. Once we get this trimmed down, what then we will do is we will take the side that is actually still sealed or closed, and this is just where they have folded the laminate or the protector. Slide this in here, and it doesn't have to be perfectly centered because more than likely you're going to end up trimming it down. And then once you get it in there, I'm going to send it through my laminator. And the one thing that you do want to make sure is the fact that you do have the reason why you want to have that folded side towards the top is just because then that way you're going to keep from getting air bubbles, and you don't want air bubbles when you're utilizing your machine, because it's just not going to work out very well. It'll get caught, and then it could start melting. So we want to try to avoid that. So then the next step is going to be where we are, this is taking forever. This is going to be trimmed down. Now, I like to keep this because I use it for other projects, and I'll show you what I mean. All right. And that'll actually be in another video, and just kind of eyeball it and see how it looks. It won't be 100% perfect just because, you know, it's not a standard width. You know, they aren't going to match up perfectly, so I like to just trim down any excess where I feel it is necessary. I might take just a tiny bit more off of this end. Okay, that looks good. Move this to the side. Then next what we're going to do is we are going to just corner around, and I don't have to do this side over here because that's just the standard side. Okay, now the easiest way to do this, to find the middle, is simply fold it in half, and then you'll give yourself a little bit of a crease. It's not going to matter, you know, if it changes a little bit in color, that's going to be totally fine, but give yourself a little bit of crease, and then this way you have a nice straight line to score on. Now, this is why I like to keep my straight, or my extras, is because it enables me to make these cuts, and that I'm going to be able to see them pretty well when I do these cuts. Doing this, you want to do this with an extremely light hand, and I am talking, you just basically want to set it down and drag it along that line. And if it's not perfect, that's totally fine. And I do it twice, and then I got off here, so I have to get back on track. I just do it twice. Then what you do is you pop it backwards to try to get that to open up. Okay? Because then the next thing you're going to do is you're going to, well, if I can get my knife in there, you're going to pop this loose. And sometimes you might have to score it just a little bit more to get that to come loose enough that you can actually put your X-Acto knife in there. What I do is I just run it down all the way. You want to go from the top seal to the bottom seal, so then that way you have these nifty little pockets. You can cut out a strip if you wish to make it so it's a little bit more of an easier accessible thing, and it folds over easier, but this is how I'm doing my dashboards. And here you can kind of see where I cut out the middle, and like I said, you want to do an extremely light hand, because I did not do that with my very first one and ended up having to put packing tape over it because I cut my center part out and I used a heavy hand and ended up slicing all the way through. So just work with it slowly, don't rush it. The great thing with these is the fact that you can insert little pictures or little cards with sayings, and you have your own little customizable dashboard insert for your planner. And I put that in upside down, check that out. So that is how we are able to make an inexpensive dashboard for our planners. I hope this helps everyone out, and I hope everyone has a wonderful day.